taking ourselves from one place to another. We tend to walk without paying attention to the actual walking process. Sometimes we don't concentrate on our movements, our sensations, our speed, our body. Sometimes we don't even pay attention to our surroundings. Walking seems simple. It's just walking, right? However, being mindful and feeling like we are truly existing within the present moment can help us improve the quality of our living experience in general. This walking exercise will help us ground and connect to reality and our surroundings. We will start noticing the little things. We will be more aware of ourselves and others, and eventually we will gain more joy and pleasure out of the simple fact of existing and moving. Before we start walking, I would like to invite us to reflect upon the way we are walking in general in our daily life. Let's ask ourselves, is there a difference between walking to go somewhere and walking to simply experience the act of walking? Am I ready to slow down, to reflect upon my own walking, and start paying attention to all the small movements in my body? Is it easy for me to focus on my body usually? Am I focused right now? What would help me focus on my body? Now, I will invite us to stand straight and relax the muscles of our shoulders and arms. We can stretch our head and shoulders a little if we feel the need to. We will now take a couple of deep breaths together. By this, we can close our eyes and focus on our breathing. Feel the air running through our chest, filling in our lungs and then our surrounding space. Whenever I am ready, I can now start opening my eyes. I will now look at the space around me and choose a line in which I can walk back and forth for about 10 to 15 steps. If we are doing this in a group, it's better if we are a bit far from the others, and even better if we can't be seen. We will need to focus on ourselves and not on others or on how we might look. Now, in a moment, we will go to the location that we have chosen. We will start walking along our line, and when we reach the end of our steps, we will pause for as long as we like and take a couple of other deep breaths. Then we will turn around and walk the way back. And then we stop and breathe again. You can now go to your spot and start walking whenever you're ready. Now, we focus on the function itself of our walking. We will now start walking and focus on the 4 steps of our walking movement. The lifting of one foot, the moving of the foot a bit forward of where we are standing, the placing of the foot on the floor, heel first, the shifting of the weight of the body onto the forward leg as the back heel lifts while the toes of that foot remain touching the floor or the ground. One foot lifting, next foot moving a bit forward, next foot on the floor, on the ground, heel first, and the shifting of the weight of the body onto the forward leg. Now I am getting aware of this movement, of this function, of this process. Very slowly and mindfully, we keep making our steps. We really focus on this movement. We try to feel the muscles and the bones in action. Let's feel the ground under our feet. How does it feel? Do I feel grounded, supported, floating, balanced? And I keep walking. Noticing how the cycle continues and paying attention to the following things. How do I lift my back foot totally off the ground? I can observe the back foot as it swings forward and lowers. I observe the back foot as it makes contact with the ground, heel first. I just keep observing. I can walk slowly and more slowly and see if this allows me to really focus on the movement and to break it down into smaller steps. Now that I have done that, I invite myself to focus on what speed feels the most natural to me. I just try it with my body. I find my natural speed. It's the unique speed that I feel comfortable myself. So I try faster or slower. What is the most comfortable pace for me? Once that I have found it, I notice how it feels. What physical sensations do I experience? Is my heart racing? How is my body feeling at this moment? And I keep experiencing. Now, another part of my body can be considered and see how do I feel with this. The movements of my hands and my arms. I can clasp my hands behind my back or in front of me, or I can just let them hang at my side. What feels more comfortable and natural? I just experienced it. I explore. I experiment myself. Hands and arms. Now I can notice my balance. Notice the small noises my body might provoke when it's moving. My mind might wander from time to time. If I feel it starting to wander, I can just try to focus back on one of my sensations. I can feel my body and feel myself existing within this body. Now, I can reach the end of my lane and I can stop walking. I can take a couple of deep breaths and try to reconnect with the ground underneath me. And I keep being still this time. Let's now take a moment to reflect upon this exercise. Some questions follow, and we will have a couple of seconds between each question to think about the answer in our head. As we were walking, what did I notice within myself? Do I feel any difference? Do I experience new sensations or feelings? How was this different from when I usually walk? Was it? Now, what would happen if I practiced walking in this way 1 or more times a week? And by exhaling completely, I can now leave my lane. Thank you for engaging in this exercise.